There aren't enough fish in the sea, so what we are doing in this project is developing an alternative marine ingredient that will feed both livestock and indirectly ourselves. Artemia is being produced as a substitute for fish meal, and fish meal is found in livestock feed, whether that be poultry, pigs, all sorts of things.
But fish meal has become more expensive, and also fish meal is considered less sustainable from an environmental point of view.
In this trial, we are trying to test if we are able to replace fish meal in the starter phase, which is the first 10 days of chick's life, with Artemeal.
What Aquanzo is doing is that we are transitioning those marine ingredients from harvesting, so from wild open ocean fisheries, to hatching Artemia, tiny marine zooplankton that on land. We chose Artemia because they are warm water organisms and they grow really fast. We are then feeding them with agricultural byproducts. The Artemia are harvested and they are dried and ground into a powder. We then send it to SRUC.
We have in total 432 chicks at day 0. They were divided into 6 groups, which is 6 different treatments. In each treatment, we have 4 replicates.
We had 6 levels of Artemeal, ranging from 0 to 5% in 1% steps.
Artemeal is only fed during the starter phase, which is from day 0 to day 10, followed up by a standard feed.
At the end of the starter phase, the chickens that were fed the 2% inclusion level of Artemeal were clearly heavier compared to those that were not fed Artemeal.
And as a consequence, we have also found that the microbiome and the gut health for the birds was better than the others that were fed fish meal.
We are obviously very excited about the result from the trials.
We developed the hypothesis that even if the chickens would perform the same, we would be very happy, because we would replace fish meal with this alternative. And we found that the 2% inclusion level was the sweet spot in terms of finding the maximum level of performance benefit.
But also the Artemeal has a cumulative effect through the bird's life, and therefore it reduced the growing period for the chicken.
So these chickens were still heavier at the end of their growing period. What that means for the producer, that reaching a certain endpoint can be brought forward. And that in itself will reduce the environmental footprint, will reduce costs, and overall becomes more efficient level of production.
Feed is all important. It's one of the most costly inputs into any farming system, and the use of wild-caught ingredients is always controversial.
By farming marine ingredient within the UK, we are able to produce locally using local agricultural byproduct, a resource that would need to be imported.
DEFRA and Innovate UK funded this project. Aquanzo are the lead. They are the ones that had the initial idea. They're the ones growing Artemia to make into Artemeal, which is the alternative marine ingredient. SRUC, where we are now at the poultry unit, they are the ones feeding it to broiler chicks to see the effects on their growth. And UK Agri-Tech Centre is involved with the project management, pulling everybody together, and also we are going to be conducting a life cycle assessment.
About 20% of all the fish that come out of the sea, they go to make fish meal. So if we can farm marine ingredients, what we can do is we can scale this. We are not limited anymore by the carrying capacity of the ocean, and we really have the potential to increase its overall availability for animal feed and solve one of the main constraints for the sustainable development of those diets and of animal farming.
We're very excited that we're here actually working on a product that really seems to work.
Our next step to do another growth trial.
To scale this up, ideally testing it under field conditions.
We have industry partners that are very interested in the result of those trials.
I think the future is really bright for this product.
The hope is that we are going to be able to drive towards commercialization of farmed marine ingredient in those diets for poultry.
For more information about this exciting project, please do visit the Aquanzo website or the UK Agri-Tech Centre website.